Damn.
Oh, we'll see about that. Ring ring.
Hello?
Victor?
Yeah, who's this, man? Is this another realtor?
Yeah, Victor, it's actually Alexis, man. Listen, I'll be brief, and if for whatever reason what I have to say doesn't make sense, you can just go ahead and hang up. The property you have on Fifth, is it or it's still available, or you already put a contract, I'm assuming, on it?
Yeah, obviously still available.
Okay, let me ask you this, Victor. Obviously, you don't sound too fond of being talking to another agent. Just out of curiosity, I'm assuming you're obviously trying to avoid the commissions and not work with an agent. If I did bring you a client that had an offer that made sense, are you guys completely closed-minded to the idea of taking a look at it if it meant more money?
I mean, I'm just sick and tired of these calls. I don't want to work with an
I
agent.
bet, man. Yeah.
And honestly, we're definitely not listing with an agent no matter what. Even if you could bring me more money. But if you have a buyer, please let me know. I'll schedule the showing. But that's really all, man.
I didn't understand, Victor. I'm a little confused. So you're saying if I have a buyer, I should bring it to you, but that you're not willing to pay a commit. I'm a bit confused. Can you clarify that for me?
I'm not willing to list with an agent. I'm offering compensation for a buyer's agent. I just really don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand, Victor. And listen, the last thing I want to do, man, is waste your time. I know you're probably extremely frustrated. You have a bunch of these phone calls from a bunch of unqualified agents. If it's okay with you, I'd just like to ask you a couple questions about the property to see whether or not there's anything that I could do in the sense of bringing you a buyer. Is that fair?
I mean, yeah, what are your questions, man?
Yeah, so you mentioned obviously you want to compensate a buyer's agent. Is there a reason besides the commission that would prevent you from working with an agent that could represent you, as long as it meant bringing you significantly more money? I mean, did you have a bad experience in the past, or what is that's really holding you back, if
Yeah,
you don't mind
I
me
did have
asking?
a bad experience in the past with another agent that did sell one of my properties. After I fired him, I went ahead and just did for sale by owner, and I've been able to sell all my properties. This is the last one I have, and I just don't feel like paying 6%. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, that's totally fair, Victor. I mean, it sounds like you're retiring. I mean, what's got you selling the last one? You
Yeah,
moving
I'm
some
just
money around for another property?
moving to Colombia. So all my properties down here in America, don't want to deal with them, don't want to be a landlord. I'm gonna hang out with Pablo Escobar, and so I just honestly, brother,
Let's go.
I'm just tired of it. Just want to sell my properties.
Let's go. And Victor, let's say I go ahead and do find you a buyer that had an offer that made sense. I mean, what would the next steps look like for you? I mean, what's the ideal timeline for you to be over in Colombia with Pablo?
Yep. So the tenant just moved out. It's free and clear. It's vacant, so we can literally close as soon as possible. That's the goal.
Okay, so you guys are ready to close as soon as possible.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, Victor. Obviously, it sounds like not working with an agent is top priority, but you also said you wanted to make the most amount of money at the end of the day, right? When it's all said and done, you're at the closing table signing off those wire papers. You want to have the most amount of money coming into your account, right?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know, and listen, I'll be transparent with you. You can 100% sell this property on your own at the end of the day. Just out of curiosity, if it meant making significantly more money, if you actually met an agent that proved to you that they were not going to give you a bad experience and actually put your property in front of more qualified buyers and leverage you a much higher offer, is that even something you'd be open to? Or I'm assuming you're completely closed-minded to it, right?
I mean, not necessarily. How much more money can you net me?
I mean, I definitely can't guarantee you anything at all yet, Victor. Obviously, your property caught my attention. That's why I'm giving you a call. If you're completely closed-minded to it and you're not even willing to have a conversation, obviously us continuing to talk doesn't make sense. But you're telling me that you obviously want to get to Colombia with as much money in your pocket. I'm assuming you know the COP to USD is a very favorable ratio. So having more USD in your pocket is something that I'm assuming would be important to you, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If you don't mind me picking your brain, I mean, is it more important for you to have that better result, or is it more important for you to just not work with an agent, right? Based on your past experience.
Yeah, I still haven't thought about that. Honestly, I'm kind of more so on not just working with an agent. Not
Yeah.
list my property. I could do it on my own. I already have 5 showings today. I'm getting calls as we speak, and so at this point, I just feel like I could definitely sell it on my own. So like I said, man, if you got a buyer, let me know. I do have to
Yeah.
answer a phone call here shortly, so yeah,
Can I share one last concern with you, Victor, that I have?
sure, sure.
So you are obviously getting a lot of phone calls and traction on the property. My concern is that you're going to go ahead and take an offer quickly up front since it is getting a lot of attention without fully leveraging the potential that the property actually has. Right? Would you agree with me? Like, let's say you were a buyer and you were looking to shop for a property, seeing a property that's represented directly by the seller. Are you more willing to offer aggressive offer with the seller directly, or if you see a property retail on the market with an agent, are you more willing to offer a bit more aggressively on that property? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, probably the one that's no agent involved, right? I mean, I've done this too in the past. I've bought homes from people who sold it on their own just like me, and we just negotiated and came to an agreement.
Right. So since there's no commission in the way, it's much easier to say, hey, Mr. Seller, why don't you just take 10, 15K off the price since you're not paying an agent, right?
I guess so.
So my concern is, again, you want to, obviously, this is your last property and your kind of last asset here in the United States from what you're telling me before you go to Colombia. Obviously, leveraging the property to the maximum of its ability would be important to you, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely would be. It would.
If you're getting, and this is again just in my opinion, if you're getting this much traction on for sale by owner with minimal exposure, I can't imagine what would happen if you actually put the property with the right agent and had the right staging and put it in front of all the buyers that are actually qualified to purchase in your area. So I know right now you're super close minded to it, and it might not make sense. All I really propose is just a conversation to see whether or not what I've done in the past for other sellers just like you would be able to work in your scenario. If you're completely closed minded, though, you can just tell me up front, Victor. I'm not gonna take any offense to it.
Well, I'm not necessarily closed-minded, but like, what are you going to do differently than all these other agents calling me?
Yeah, can I be honest with you, Victor?
Yeah.
Let's say I know you have another call here to go to, so I'll be quick. But let's say I did break down the entire strategy for you right now over the phone, and it made sense. And you were like, you know what, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. I want to do it. Are you? Do you feel capable of being able to sign with an individual to represent your property without even meeting them in person, or would you say that's not fair?
It depends if I really like you.
Well, point is, Victor, I'd love the opportunity to kind of pass by, but just to give you a synopsis of what we do, the two things that sell a property is very simple. It's marketing and sales. If I have a better ability to put your property in front of more qualified buyers, and then more importantly, once those buyers inquire about your property, if I'm able to communicate the value of your home significantly better than you can, who do you think is going to have a better opportunity of bringing in a higher offer? You or me?
I mean, obviously you, if you're able to do the job, if you can.
It, and I'm not saying you're not capable, Victor. You're going to get the property sold on your own 100%. The
Yeah.
question is whether or not we can get another 8 to 12% in your pocket. And again, if that's not super important to you, I know you're listed at 550. If getting another 30 to $50,000 in your pocket on top of what you can get yourself is not important, I would say let's just not meet, right? But if having another, I mean, Victor, dude, if we put 30,000 more in your pocket, that's 123 millones in Colombia more that you can kind of have fun with over the next, I don't know, 20, 30 years of life that you got left.
Well,
But
it is important for me. It is important. But listen, man, I respect you. You're probably the agent that I've spoken with the longest so far. But I do have a family member. I have a cousin that can just list my property. He already said he'll, do it for 1%. I liked what he had to offer. So honestly, if I can't do it on my own within a month, I'm just gonna go with my cousin.
yeah, Victor, that's totally fair. Can I be really frank with you? I think we've built enough trust between each other in the last 8 minutes that we've talked to you. Can I be frank with you?
Yeah,
If you don't mind me asking, Victor, how old are you?
yeah, I'm 23.
Oh, you're 23 and you're looking to retire and go to Colombia already?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed.
Let me ask you this, man. It sounds like you're pretty successful. Anytime that you've been successful in life and you ventured off to do something, would you say that, your plan A, once you stuck to it, was the plan that usually got you the better result? Or would you say that the plan Bs in your life are the ones that got you the better result?
Usually the plan A's.
So, I mean, I could be totally off here, but if your family member was the realtor that was actually going to get you that extra 8 to 12%, I'm assuming you would have known that off the bat and you would have listened with them in the first place, right? I could be wrong though.
No, I guess that makes sense. I guess I just thought, I'd be able to do it on my own and make more money that way. Uh,
You could do it on your own. The
yeah.
question is, if I did sit in front of you and presented you a plan that you came to the conclusion that it was going to be significantly better, the question is, what would you do then?
Well, how about this, man? Look, I gotta go. I am willing to meet with you though. I'm not closed-minded. I'm open to hear what you got to say. I can't guarantee that I'll sign with you, but I'm available this.
I can't guarantee that I'd ask you to sign with me either, Victor, to be
Okay,
honest.
I respect it. So, I mean, this Saturday I have an open house at 12 o'clock. Can you be there at 11:30?
Let me take a look at my calendar because Saturdays I'm usually coordinating open houses for my sellers. You said 11:30.
Yeah.
So I have a property I have to be at 12. I can be there at 10:45 or 11. I don't know if any of those two would work for you. A little bit earlier.
Let's do 11. Let's do 11.
Okay, we'll do 11. Like I said, Victor, I just want to get a better understanding of what your plan is. If it makes more sense for you to keep doing this on your own, that's what you'll do. If you come to the conclusion that working with me is going to be significantly better, I'm assuming that's what you'll do, right?
Yeah, 100%. You're right.
Okay, so we'll do that, Victor. Can you share with me an email? I'd like to send you just a quick little 4 minute, 5 minute Loom video, kind of giving you a brief understanding of what we'll cover. That way you're prepared to dive into our meeting on Saturday. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. It is. I am the best tennis player in Colombia at gmail.com.
I thought you were gonna hit me with the I love Alexis again. All right, that's a good one.
All right,
I
good
was
shit.
I thought you were like 65 the whole time.
Well, yes, technically.
I thought you were 65 the whole time. That's why I hit you with the age, and I was like, look, Victor, in your life, when you've been successful at something, would you say that going with your plan A has usually panned out better?
You never know, brother. Can retire at
Yeah.
25. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That was
Any
good.
feedback on that one? That was a little unorthodox. We were kind of messing
I
around a little bit,
know,
but
but
the tone was important. I think kind of like with FSBOs, it is very difficult to get in a conversation like that because they're typically much more rushy off the phone.
like,
The person that you spoke to the other day, Victor, what was her name? Kelly.
Kelly, the one that I just, what, yeah,
Kelly was more like this. She was more like listening to you, like slow pace.
yeah, yeah,
Very important. I just want to give you guys context. Like when the seller's fast pace, you can't do what I just did. They'll fucking hang up on
right.
you. If they're like one of those like talkers and they're slow pace, you can run with what I just did and kind of pick their brain. But my approach right now with Victor was more of like an in person. Once you're there and you got time, you run them through like the whole psychological thing. But typically for sub owners, are much more fast paced.
I kept going in and out. Like I was agreeing with you, and then I was like, nah, and then back and forth, and then eventually
Yeah.
now lowered my guard, and I was more
Yeah.
calmer tone.